Okay, so another impact was that it helped facilitate trade between the east and the west of the United States and between the United States and Asia. So things that were available in the west could now be transported east and vice versa. And then things that were now being shipped to maybe California or New York could easily be transported across the country instead of waiting for a ship to go all the way around Cape Horn. So that was really helpful with trade with other countries and also for getting our goods across the United States. Another impact was to the bison population. So before the Transcontinental Railroad, the population of bison was between 30 and 100 million. And afterwards, within a few years, it reduced to only a few hundred. So you can see here's a picture of a bison right here. That's what they look like. And then this is all bison skulls and skeletons, piles of them. So I'll show you on the trains. So on the locomotive trains, there was this thing in the front called nicknamed the cow catcher. So if there was an animal on the tracks, which sometimes there was, the train couldn't stop for the animal. So it would push the animal off the tracks, but essentially also kill it. So that hurt the bison population. Also, with the settlement of other these new towns, more people were using the bison for food. Previously, it was only the Native Americans that were using them for food, but now all these new people were coming in, so they were being used for food. They were also being used for leather, for their hides, and then unfortunately, sometimes out of the train windows, some of the people traveling would shoot the bison just for fun, like for sport. So that was another impact to the poor bison. Another impact was to the Chinese workers. So we've talked a lot about how, especially in the western part, the Chinese laborers did a lot of the construction through the Sierra Nevadas. Now they had to get through the mountains, so they had to use explosives to blow holes in the mountains to get the train tracks through and the trains to come through. So the Chinese were doing a really dangerous job, and you can see in this picture, you can see some Chinese immigrants working, and here's an explosion happening right here through these, blowing this, kind of canyon into these rocks. And there's even some, workers standing up here. So unfortunately, during this whole process, about 1,200 Chinese workers died doing this most dangerous job in the railroad. Another impact that we see every single day today is that it led to the creation of a standard time system. So before the Transcontinental Railroad, if you left on a stagecoach from, New York and went to Nebraska or to Phoenix or to Los Angeles, you wouldn't really have to tell them what time you would be there. You could say, maybe sunset or just the specific day because it took so long. But with the creation of the rail line, they needed to have a specific time that they would be there. And there wasn't a standard time across the world or just the United States. So you couldn't say 6 o'clock because there really wasn't a 6 o'clock. There was, kind of sunset. But not everybody's 6 o'clock looked the same across the country because of sunsets and sunrises and stuff like that. So they had to create a standard time system. So this is a map that shows the time zones of the whole world. So you can see here we are in this yellow portion right here. And then here's the rest of the United States. There's 4 time zones in the continental United States. There's 5 if you count Alaska and Hawaii. And then you can see as it goes across, each one of these different colors or different lines is an hour. So you can see there's 24 time zones, one for each hour of the day. So here's a map of the United States. So if it's 3 p.m., let's do this one. If it's 1 p.m. in Los Angeles, what time is it in Denver, Colorado? So if it's 1 p.m. here, and here's Denver, Colorado, they're 1 hour ahead of us. So it would be 2 p.m. Then 1 hour ahead of them would be 3 p.m. and then 4 p.m. here. It's kind of confusing because these times are on here, but so we can see that there are all different times. So New York is 3 hours ahead of Los Angeles. Hawaii is 3 hours behind Los Angeles. So you can see how that works. So here is a picture of one of the impacts. And I didn't put a caption on here because I want you to kind of think about it. What do you see in this picture? What do you think this impact is? So we can see, I see some trees around here, and then I see this flat, and I see these workers working here. So I kind of want you to think about, what do you think this impact is? And then here's another picture for you. Again, I didn't put a caption on here. I want you to think about what all of the things that you see in this picture, and what do you think this is showing? So you have the train coming from New York, the train coming from San Francisco, the two hands in the middle meeting. Are they going to shake hands? What's happening there? What are these? Here's these bison we talked about. Here's some Native Americans. What are they doing? And then what are the people on the trains doing? They look like they're celebrating. What's happening? So what kind of impacts do you see in here? This is completely up to you, so I want you to think about it. Okay, so I will explain to you in another video on how to do your next assignment. So use all these the information that we talked about in here for your next assignment. Thanks. Bye.